The article that really, I'm going to be honest with you, knocked the wind out of me yesterday, right before the show, was from The Nation. And they were discussing Donald Trump's potential executive order. We discussed it a little bit last night in a broader context of religious liberty and the threat of this type of Christianity has on America, poses to America, rather. But I want to give you some details of this religious freedom order. So it's a leaked copy, and this is The Nation actually got the scoop. From The Nation, it reads, a leaked copy of a draft executive order titled Establishing a Government-Wide Initiative to Respect Religious Freedoms was obtained by The Nation. And some of the key takeaways is it extends some of its protections to one particular set of religious beliefs. It would risk violating the establishment clause of the First Amendment. In other words, one of the main things it's going to do is gives religious liberties focused on Christianity to corporations and to businesses. So it expands. And they say, quote, the executive order would appear to require agencies to provide extensive exemptions from a staggering number of federal laws without regard to whether such laws substantially burden religious exercise. And so it's a 4-page draft, and it's looking to expand the definition of a religious institution. And it wants to cover this is from the actual executive order, any organization, including closely held for-profit corporations, and protects religious freedom in every walk of life when, quote, providing social services, education, or health care, earning a living, seeking a job, or employing others, receiving government grants or contracts, or otherwise participating in the marketplace, the public square, or interfacing with federal, state, or local governments. They want to extend religious protections to everyone participating in the public square, benefiting from the public square, taking money, engaging in commerce in the public square, and they want to extend religious freedoms to them. And religious freedom is actually not the right way to say it, right? Because they have the right to worship and do whatever they want to in their personal lives, but they're trying to extend protections so that these corporations, closely held for-profit corporations, as the executive order reads, will not have to abide by anti-discrimination laws. In other words, employers will be able to discriminate against the LGBTQ community, against anything that doesn't fall within the purview of their particular religion and their particular faith. This becomes exceedingly nefarious when you consider Neil Gorsuch and his involvement in the Hobby Lobby case, in which he fell on the side of the Supreme Court's decision, in which they said that corporations are not only people, but corporations have the ability to absorb the religious beliefs of the individual owners. So now Trump is setting this up. If you combine this with the Johnson Amendment attack that he's going after, he wants to totally destroy that, combined with his choice for the Supreme Court, and combined with this draft executive order that is still in consideration, Donald Trump is really becoming the tool of the evangelical militant movement and their desire to not just coexist with people. Actually, they don't have a desire to do that at all. They have their own perverted version of Sharia law that they want to institute in the name of Jesus. And Donald Trump seems to be just headlong happy to do this for them. So this is definitely has the hand mark of Steve Bannon, Mike Pence, the evangelical church, the remaining faction of the religious right of the moral majority is what I wanted to say. They're still here, and they're still very active, and they're still intent on making America a theocracy, particularly on sexual morality, without any regard to any notion of economic justice or social justice that you can find in the Bible. Just forget about that portion. Let's obsess over what they determine to be sexual morality, and let's use the force of law to restrict access to public services, to people, to education. I mean, look at this list: education, anyone who is providing social services, healthcare, meaning that people will be able to turn you away from getting medical service if they don't agree with your lifestyle. And it's not just the LGBTQ community, it's anyone who doesn't abide by their religion at all. So that's really inclusive of everybody, including them. But of course, they'll never look at their own, what's that thing? They'll never look at the mote in their eye. Whatever. I'm getting rusty.